Super Mario Bros. Crossover. Hey there, dear viewers. I used Super Mario Bros. Crossover a number of years ago on my channel as just a means of kicking back, relaxing, playing a video game, and recording some random commentary, and I felt like doing that again. So that's what this video is going to be about. I'm going to hit New Game, Start Game, and whenever I play SMBC these days, I like to play as Ryu, and this game has changed a ton for the better since I last put it up on my channel. I'm going to play as Ryu, but each character has several different skins now, and I like to play as Shadow from Final Fantasy VI because his music is awesome, and he plays like Ryu, of course, because he is a variation of Ryu. So we're going to play this. This game allows you to change all kinds of different options, this just being a few of them. Ah, man. I gotta tell you guys, I'm feeling pretty relaxed right now. And I would say that I don't know why, but I mean, there's a part of me that does. Oh, first of all, one thing that I do want to say is that I'm so very glad, so very happy that my hour-long Rust video was received so well. I got a lot of comments on that video, and the response to it was overwhelmingly positive. And the reason I'm so happy about that is because that video took me 14 hours to edit, or something like that. Pretty close. A little bit over, I would say. Maybe. I don't know. It took me about 14 hours to edit that video. Because it was 4 hours worth of footage. And I had to watch all of that footage over again, of course, to get all of the content and make sure I get some of the good stuff of the video. Take the best stuff out of the video. Out of the footage, in other words. And I did a lot more with that video than I normally do when it comes to editing. Because it was so long, and because it told such a great story, but the story... Okay, because it was so long and because it told such a great story, I wanted to make sure and highlight that story. I also wanted to make sure and highlight the tactics that Skid, Silios, and I used when playing. There was a lot that I really wanted to do. But there was 4 hours worth of it. And there was a story there to be told, but over the course of those 4 hours that we played, of course there were some highs, there were some lows. There were some things that basically interrupted the flow of the story being told. Of course, as you're playing, there are things that you're going to be doing. There's going to be some AFKs or something. There's going to be, you know, just periods of time during the playing where there may not be a whole lot of action. There's just a whole bunch of stuff. I can't begin to tell you all the differences and things like that there could be. So I didn't want to just upload the video wholesale. First of all, because it's 4 hours. But secondly, because of all that other stuff. And I wanted to make sure and tell the story properly, which is why I added the annotations and all that good stuff. But another thing that I did was, as I was watching through the footage again, and I watched it through, of course, because I had to. It's just one of the things that happens while editing. I made sure to kind of divide all of that into scenes, and I didn't actually storyboard the whole thing, but yeah, in a way, I storyboarded the whole thing just as I went along. I didn't write it down or draw out an actual storyboard or anything, but I did, as I was editing, take. Oh, good. I'm glad I got this upward flame thing because that makes getting this one up really easy, like so. Oops, like so. There we go. That's nice. Where was I? Anyway, I storyboarded it, and kind of storyboarded it as I went along. Basically, trying to make sure and put all these scenes together in a way that makes sense for the viewer. And one thing that I saw, one of the comments that I saw repeated a few times, was that viewers tended to watch the whole thing when they watched it. And there were a number of these comments, and there were a lot of comments, even for... Well, I don't want to say even for one of my videos, but my videos don't get a ton of comments these days because I don't have the audience that I used to, and I'm not saying that, oh, my channel is on the decline or whatever. No, it doesn't. I don't know. I feel great about my channel right now. Oh man, I got the Whirlwind Slash. I don't really like the Whirlwind Slash that much. It's got its uses. Like this, I think. That's cool. No, that's not the point. But that video got a lot of comments in general, and many of those were about how people sat there and watched the whole thing. Some people didn't even realize a whole hour had gone by, or just about an hour had gone by. And it's funny. It's not funny. I don't know. it pleases me because that's what I was going for when I was editing that. Whenever any YouTuber puts up, well, of course I can't speak for all YouTubers, but I imagine that when most YouTubers put up long content, like an hour long, I think most know that there's a very good chance that a significant portion of their audience, or the audience at large, is not going to watch the full thing. There's always a good chance of that happening. So what I had there was the potential for a lot of people to just miss out on a whole bunch of the content that I was going to put up. So I edited in such a way, I tried to edit in such a way that every scene in that video, and again, there aren't actual scenes that were shot or anything like that, it's not a full movie production, but I tried to treat it as if it was one. I wanted viewers to see it as a sort of miniature movie. Oh wait, I don't have the downward fireball. I tried to make it so that each scene was a seamless transition into the next. I wanted people to get the point of the current scene, understand what's happening in the story that's being told by that footage, and then find out how it connects from the previous scene and to the next scene. And I think in that way, I think through that particular type of storytelling, that technique, I feel like I'm bragging when I say this kind of stuff, because it was so successful when I did it. I don't really mean to brag, it's just something I want to talk about, and that's what I'm doing. I feel like through that, in that way, via that editing and how it was done, I was able to keep so many viewers' attention throughout the whole thing because each scene led to the next and told a story, and did so in a way that made sense. So there's that aspect too. Now that's something you don't usually have to do whenever you're editing even a Let's Play, which tend to be longer videos, you know, like 20, 30 minutes or so. On that note, I kind of miss the old YouTube 10-minute limit, and I'll get into that a little bit more in a second, I guess. But anyway, that's something that I don't usually do for my videos. I don't think many people do for their videos because you just don't have to for the average video. You don't have to storyboard it. You don't have to look at it as scenes and put them together in an entertaining and engaging way. You don't got to do that for a lot of videos because most videos are just one scene in and of themselves. Especially these days, videos tend to be of the shorter variety, like 3 minutes or less, because people want to get their entertainment, they want to get it in quick, they want to have their laugh, or they want to have their emotional experience in a video or whatever as fast as they can, and then move on. That's just how the internet is these days. The most popular videos tend to be some of the shorter ones, as far as the trend is concerned, from what I can tell anyway. So a lot of the time you don't have to think about any of this kind of stuff when editing, but that's what I did. I did a whole lot, is what I'm trying to get at with that rest video. And so I feel like I've gone off on this like huge tangent here, but yeah, I'm just really pleased so many people were happy with that video, and that makes me very pleased with that video as well, because again, I did put a lot of work into it, not knowing how well it was going to be received. And as far as YouTube in general is concerned, I'm just very pleased with what I've got going on right now. It feels really good. I can't explain why. That was a good fireball, or wheel of fire, or whatever you want to call it. I think I'll keep this ability. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and change. Let's go ahead and change it up so we can do cool stuff. Practice with this one a bit so I can get the aim down. Whoa, that was weird. I don't know. I'm just feeling really good about YouTube in general right now. And I know I've said that in the past, and well, I wasn't lying in the past either. I don't know how long this is going to last. I hope it lasts for a long time. My enthusiasm for YouTube has picked up significantly recently. I used to have a really big audience. I used to get hundreds of thousands, or at least tens of thousands of views on each video. And I'm not going to say that I was less happy with YouTube back then, because I wasn't. But right now, with this, I don't want to say small, because let's face it, like 7,000 to 8,000 people? Well, okay, I'll say 4,000 to 7,000 people. 4,000 to 7,000 views is about what I'm averaging, except for Thief. My Thief videos seem to be the least popular I've, like, ever uploaded. I suppose I get that. Thief is kind of for a specific kind of audience. If I'm being honest, Thief isn't the best game out there of its class. It's a really well put together game, but it's not the best game of its class. It takes a very I don't know. It takes someone who can appreciate certain aspects of the game to really enjoy watching that. So I guess I can understand why Thief is my least popular series. Deus Ex is more popular than that. But anyway, what I'm trying to get, the point that I'm trying, and now I'm not saying Thief is bad. I like Thief. I'm going to keep playing Thief because I just want to see where it goes. I like the characters. That's one of my favorite things about that game, is that all the characters so far to me have been interesting. I've liked Aaron. I liked Basso. I like I like the shady merchant. That guy is awesome. um, I liked the Queen of Beggars. Every character that I've met so far in that game, except for the little 2-bit characters like guards and stuff like that, I've actually really liked. So I'm gonna keep going with that game. There's a lot to like in Thief, but I think a lot of that is lost on the audience at large. So it's really no surprise to me that Thief fits in with more of a niche audience. Whoa, really? Can I do that here? Oh yeah, baby, that's awesome. I don't think I've brought the jump slash into here before and tried it. Oh, sweet. So I'm talking about. So anyway, my point was that I used to have a whole lot of views, and now that's not necessarily the case. But let's face it, 4,000 to 7,000 people watching, that's still a ton. I mean, it's all about perspective, man. My Minecraft videos got millions of views, and that's a lot of people. That is a lot of people watching my videos, and some of those people still go back and watch those. That's really awesome to me. I'm glad I made something that so many people enjoy in such a capacity that they can go back and rewatch it. And it's something a lot of people I've found are really nostalgic about. Like, they look back at that series, and it's cool to me because they'll look back at my Minecraft series in the same way that I look back at things like Transformers or He-Man, and Shadow can't get out of this area. I don't think that they accounted for that. Okay, yeah, I can. But it's really cool to me that people will look at my Minecraft series in that way. But I don't get those numbers anymore. And this all started with me saying how happy I am with YouTube right now. The numbers that I'm getting right now with this small 4,000 to 7,000 loyal viewer audience that I've got going on right now is just really appealing to me. It just really pleases me, and I don't know. I don't know what else to say about that. A lot of these messages, everything that I'm saying right now may seem very, not very well thought out, and that's because it's really not. I'm just kind of rambling. And I see why X of years past used to use Super Mario Bros. Crossover to do this, because it's amazing. Also, I love this tune. I love all of Final Fantasy 3/6's tunes. Final Fantasy 6 is what it is actually. So let's just go. Let's just go with that. But it was Final Fantasy 2 over here was actually Final Fantasy 4, and Final Fantasy 3 over here was actually Final Fantasy 6 in Japan. So that's kind of cool. I really liked Final Fantasy 2/4 as well. I lost interest in the Final Fantasy games when the games went 3D. I feel like Final Fantasy lost some of its charm when it went 3D, and I just really couldn't get into stuff like 7. Been thinking about starting up a Patreon. In case you guys don't know what Patreon is, I'll put a link to it in the video description or whatever. I'm sure a lot of you do know what a Patreon is. Ski had actually mentioned it to me a while back, and I wasn't sure what it was or anything like that. Oh, lost my shuriken. Or did I? No, I didn't. Why not? Huh, that's weird. Love this tune as well. Anyway, it's a fun tune. So anyway, Skid mentioned Patreon to me a while back, and, you know, I don't know. I kind of, I took it into a little bit of consideration, but for the most part, it's something that I just sort of wrote off at the time. But then someone, I think it's been mentioned more than once, I'm not 100% certain, but in my Rust video, someone did mention that I should start up a Patreon. I don't know if that comment got thumbs up or whatever. I don't know how you guys would feel about that kind of thing. Obviously, Patreon is one of those things that you can opt into, so if you want to support the creators that you like, you can do that. Basically, general premise is that I start up a Patreon as a content creator, and then anybody who wants to support me in a greater way than just watching, liking, and commenting, and favoriting, and all that stuff, anybody who wants to support monetarily can do so by signing up as a patron over at Patreon. And then they can set it up so that every time I release a video, they can pay, like, any amount that they want. I think the minimum is $1 or whatever. So people can pay, like, $1 to support me every time I release a video. And then patrons can set up, like, a maximum amount. Like, say they only want to invest, like, $10, $20 a month to it, so that I don't go do something sleazebag-like, and as soon as somebody signs up and says they'll give me $1 each time, then I just upload like 100 10-second videos or something like that. Just so I don't do something like that. I guess that's the whole point. So that people can't game the system, in other words. Patrons can set a max amount so that they're always within their budget and stuff. And you get enough people doing this, and obviously each video becomes more and more profitable. And that's the kind of thing that you want in order to keep your content growing, in order to keep your inspiration going, in order to support yourself while you're doing this kind of stuff. And, I don't know, so it's an opt-in thing, obviously. It wouldn't affect the content or the rate that it comes out. I'm not going to say it'll increase how much content comes out. I'm not going to say it'll decrease how much content comes out. And I'm not going to say that I won't take very long breaks from YouTube still, because I know my history. I know I'm known to do that. So I don't want to make any promises either way, saying one thing or another. I'm just going to say that if I did start a Patreon, it wouldn't affect... It's not likely to affect the rate at which I upload or anything like that, or what habits I've formed. But anyway, the point is that I've been considering it. I don't know how you guys would feel about that kind of thing. Obviously, you wouldn't have to get involved in that bit. Now, another cool thing is that content creators who sign up for Patreon can simply... Well, not simply. Content creators who sign up for Patreon can offer incentives to their patrons, to the people who support them that way. Like, see, this is where I'm having trouble. I don't know what I would offer, what I could offer as far as that's concerned. Like, Smooth McGrew, for example, he has a Patreon, and his Patreon supporters have different tiers, I think. He does something like where he does a Google Hangout with his supporters every month or something. I'm not 100% certain. I'll link his Patreon, actually. That's a good idea. I'll link his Patreon in the video description, so you guys can see how he does it. So he'll do like a monthly Google Hangout or something with his supporters. And for his like really top tier supporters, the people who like really want to support him and I guess give him extra money, more money than... like a lot more money or something than most other patrons do, he'll do a Google Hangout with them where they'll sit and talk for like 20 or 30 minutes, and he'll give them like voice lessons or lessons on whatever, or they'll just sit and hang out or whatever, however they want to do it. So that's the incentive that he offers to people who are patrons of him, but that's not something I would really want to do. I don't know. See, that's the kind of problem that I run into. I don't know what I could offer as far as that is concerned, so I'm kind of thinking about it. Maybe you guys can give me some kind of idea of what kind of stuff that you would like to see if I did decide to start up a Patreon. I have a problem taking money, and I always have. I don't mind doing it from advertisers, because advertisers clearly get something out of it. They're businesses. It seems a lot less personal that way. It feels like whenever I get money from advertisers, I'm delivering a service, they are delivering the money for being able to advertise on my videos and stuff like that. That's fine. It goes through YouTube. To me, it doesn't feel like there's anything really personal there. But I've always felt really... I've always been hesitant to take money directly from the pockets of my viewers, even if they have wanted to give me that money, even if they've wanted to show their appreciation in that way. I've always found it difficult taking money from viewers because I don't know. I don't want to say I don't feel that I deserve it, and I don't want to say that I feel I do deserve it. I just find it difficult to do it because it's their money. And someone's already paying me for this kind of stuff. I'm getting advertiser dollars, you know? So it just seems a little bit, I don't want to say greedy, because obviously it's not. It's how things are being done online these days. And I think it's how things should be getting done. I think people should pay for the content that they like, support the people that they like. And while I say that, and while I encourage people to go turn off their ad block for other streams and other YouTubers and stuff, and while I tell people that they should consider donating or subscribing to people that they really like on Twitch where subscription costs money, I don't necessarily point that stuff toward myself. I don't say, you should subscribe to my Twitch channel because I am producing hopefully good content for you guys. I don't say that sort of stuff, but I will say you should go, like, if you enjoy Kripparrian or Hafu or somebody online, that you should, I would definitely encourage you to subscribe to them, to show your support in that way. But I don't recommend that people do that for me, and I don't know why. It's not that I don't think myself worth it. It's not. It's just weird to me. So Patreon is kind of a foreign concept. I've always had trouble taking money from my viewers, which is why I took down all my donate links except for one. There's one donate link to me left on the internet, and I keep it kind of hidden. I don't really reveal where it is. If you already know where it is, then you know where it is, and it's not difficult to find if you're actually looking for it, but I do kind of make people go through the effort to find it first. Because, like I said, I'm already getting money from advertisers and stuff. But the Patreon thing would actually really help a lot if I got enough people who were supporting via Patreon. So, that's just something that's been on my mind. And apparently I'm in World 4-1 now. Wow, when did that happen? I've kind of been almost like on autopilot this whole time. Just kind of chit-chatting. One thing that I did want to talk about, but we can change subject a little bit, is the YouTube 10-minute limit. Do you guys remember that? How many of you were around when YouTube had its 10-minute limit? That was something that we content creators struggled with back in the day. But I liked it. Well, I was really excited when I got bumped up to 15. Some creators were allowed to, I guess if they produced content often enough, and they had a big enough subscriber base or whatever, YouTube would give some creators a 15-minute limit versus 10. That was pretty cool. I guess back then I would have wanted to get... I did want to get away from the 10-minute limit, because it was very limiting. But at the same time, the 10-minute limit for YouTube back in the day really made creators think about their content. There wasn't a whole lot of just uploading content or footage wholesale. There wasn't a lot of that. There was editing involved. You had to think about what you wanted to do, what you wanted to say, what you wanted to accomplish with each particular video, and then you had to present it all within 10 minutes. And I made guides for tanking and all kinds of stuff, so I had to format it to all fit within a 10-minute limit, and people didn't have to invest a whole lot of time to watch a video, so I feel like views were a little easier to come by. That's not necessarily true, because the audience is larger now. Views themselves are definitely easier to come by these days than they were back then, because, again, the audience overall was smaller, I feel, especially for gaming. But, I don't know. I just like the way that the 10-minute limit forced creators to get creative with their content. And I tried once or twice in the past to revisit that, to force myself to use a 10-minute limit on my own videos, despite the fact that I could upload videos of essentially unlimited length, which is not necessarily true. I think the limit is 10 hours or 100 hours. I'm not sure what the limit actually is, but it's way more than I need for any particular video that I can think of offhand. But I have tried to force myself to use a 10-minute limit before. But today's audience seems to want/expect longer videos. They don't seem to understand the idea behind shorter videos. And I guess because today's Let's Play viewer, and I do a fair amount of Let's Plays, today's Let's Play viewer wants to view their episodes of Let's Plays like they view TV shows and stuff like that. They want to see them 22 minutes, or preferably longer. That kind of bit. And that's understandable. People want to sit down for lunch or for dinner or whatever, or after studying, or however they want to do it, and just sit down and chill out for a little while. They want to do that number. And longer videos are good for that. I understand that. But I kind of miss how the YouTube 10-minute limit had that creativity-spurring effect. That was really cool back then. Whoa. So yeah, I was watching some of my older videos, and I caught myself a lot of times saying, how much more time do I have left? Oh, I've got 4 minutes, so I'm good. You know, stuff like that. And I almost can't remember what it feels like to keep a timer on my desk or in another window or something while recording. I almost can't remember what that feels like. A video like this obviously wouldn't be possible. A video this long obviously wouldn't be possible if we had the 10-minute limit. I might have only been able to get across one or two, maybe just a few ideas in a 10-minute video. I don't know. In any case, I think this is good. I think I'm fine here. This is essentially all that I wanted to say. I'm gonna put this video up. If you're looking for Thief or Deus Ex, I am still working on those. Crap. There we go. I don't have shurikens. Shurikens? I don't have them right now. I'm just gonna save on this stage anyway. I am still working on those. Those are still coming back this week. Like I said, what I'd planned to do this weekend was get some of those sessions recorded. But again, like I said, that Rust video took me 14 hours to edit. It was actually longer than that. I'm gonna go on a little bit longer. Actually, I'm not ending this video here. I'll talk about that Rust video just a little bit more. It took 14 hours to edit. Then it took 3 hours to render. And then it took 3+ hours. Okay, 3+ hours to render and 3+ hours to upload. And then, once it got uploaded to YouTube, there was a content ID match on it. I had actually made another little song. I got this application called Sonic Fire Pro, and that lets you make music of custom length using these pre-recorded samples of songs that can be lengthened or shortened depending on what you need, and you can mix them in and change different kinds of themes and moods and stuff. So I kind of used that just as a very basic capacity to create an ending tune for my hour-long Rust video for the Battle of Nex Valley. I created an ending tune there. So, and there's the thing about Sonic Fire is that it comes with a license that says that you can use this music that you create or that you edit or whatever in the application. It says that you can use this music in your commercial projects as long as you don't make the music that you created freely available anywhere. As long as it's in your project and you don't make it so that people can download it or something like that. And as long as you don't add your own lyrics to it, so you can't actually make them songs, you can't sing to them. But to use for a YouTuber, they're great for like background tunes and credit tunes and intro tunes and basically anything that you can think that you need music for. It's great for a YouTuber, especially like Let's Players and people who do montages and stuff like that. So I bought it for like $100, and then I used it to make an ending tune for my Rust video. But whenever I uploaded it, and again, this took 3 hours, 3+ hours to upload, YouTube immediately gave it a content ID match while it was still private and processing and waiting to be published. So I saw a content ID match on it, and of course it was on the tune that I put in, which is ridiculous because it's a tune that I have every legal right to put up. Now I could have disputed this because I don't even think it was actually the tune. The tune that I made almost could not have been owned or claimed by any other entity, any other company out there, because again, it's from Sonic Fire and I have the legal right to use it. So I could have disputed this claim that they put up, but I chose not to because that would have taken a couple of weeks. Yeah, YouTube takes like a couple of weeks to get back to you whenever you dispute a claim, and during that time, all of the money that your revenue that your video is generating is going to that other party that whole time. So it would have meant that I would have had to delay the video by like a couple weeks. So instead, I just took it down. I re-edited it and I re-uploaded it, which again, re-editing to put in the clean sailing, the easy sailing and clean swords song, which is what you hear at the end of the Rust video right now, the one that actually went up and published. I put that song in there instead, which is one of my tanking videos that I made on my MacBook a long time ago with an application called GarageBand. Yeah, I've had these tunes for a while, sitting on my hard drive and passing them over from hard drive to hard drive and stuff. But anyway, that's the song that I put in there. So again, it took another 3+ hours to render, then another 3+ hours to upload again. So let's see, that's another 12 hours that got added on to those 14 hours already. Well, 12+ hours. Sorry, 3+ hours and 3+ hours. Let's just go ahead and say another 12 to 14 hours or so that was added on to that process. So a big portion of my weekend was taken up by that Rust stuff, so I didn't get to do any of the Thief or Deus Ex stuff. And it was important that I got that Rust footage edited, rendered, and uploaded because I didn't have hard drive space. Well, I didn't have a lot of hard drive space to record sessions of other games, but now that I've got that 4 hours of raw footage off my drive because the video is edited and up, now I can begin recording sessions of other things and such. So anyway, that's that, really. And none of this is complaining. This is all essentially just storytelling. Yeah, it was a real bitch that YouTube did that. Their whole Content ID thing. But at the same time, as much as we hate Content ID, and Content ID is actually ridiculous and stupid and needs to be, it needs to be looked at. They need to change how it's done and shore up some of its bigger problems, because it's got some pretty big fucking problems. But as much as we hate it, I'm pretty sure YouTube would not have it if they didn't need to. There are a lot of legal things that come up whenever you allow so many people to make their own content. And when it comes to the music and film industry not liking their stuff being made freely available, I'm pretty sure YouTube has their hands full. So I'm sure that they've implemented what they consider to be a decent measure, which is Content ID, and I'm sure that they're constantly working on it and stuff. So I'm not really holding it against them, but that doesn't change the fact that it is pretty ridiculous and stupidly implemented right now. It can be improved, I'm sure, and I'm sure it doesn't have to take 2 weeks for a dispute to even be looked at and then probably denied. That's what it comes down to. I could go more into Content ID. I know a lot of this sounds like complaining, and yeah, maybe it's about half complaining, but a lot of this is also just observations that I've had as far as the Content ID thing is concerned, and how it affected me most recently, which is with that Rust video. Anyway, I need to beat Bowser. I need to focus on this. Let me beat Bowser here so I can save and end this video at the start of World 5. Oh, dang it. I could probably just do something like this, can't I? Dang it, just jumping him. Wow, this seems like really cheesy. He gets like one shot. Okay, let's not do that. Again, because that just seems really cheesy. Well, whatever. It worked. Okay, so let's jump in here. What I like about SMBC, and this is a link to this game in the video description. Man, I'm going to have to put a lot of links in the video description, aren't I? What I like about SMBC is that it has, well, besides all the other cool stuff about it, is that you can save data in the game. And then you can just pick it up again later, whenever you feel like it. In any case, this is just a cool little relaxing video that I just wanted to put out there, guys, because I felt like playing some SMBC and just having some random commentary. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.